Hello and welcome to Granada Reports. We are live with the latest across the northwest.
Hello, thanks for being with us. Here's what's coming up on the programme.
There were no mitigating features. There was no remorse. The sentence ultimately arrived at was entirely merited on the facts, and the contrary is not arguable. The application for leave to appeal against sentence is refused.
In the calm, measured tones of a senior judge, a damning verdict is delivered. Thomas Cashman, the man who shot 9-year-old Olivia, is told he can't appeal against his 42-year jail sentence. We'll be talking to Olivia's mum, Cheryl, live.
The special school that's changing lives for children who've lost out in the education system. A special report coming up.
From Tottenham to Wigan to West Lancashire, meet the new manager of Skelmersdale United, Pascal Chimbonda.
When Kylie herself dropped in on rehearsals for a new musical making its debut in Manchester.
And we could do with some fine weather to allow all this water on the ground to dry up just a little bit. I'll have the details of the next fine day in the forecast later.
So please do stay with us. But first tonight, Thomas Cashman, the man who shot and killed 9-year-old Olivia Pratt-Corbell in her own home in Liverpool, has been told he can't appeal against his sentence.
Drug dealer Cashman was jailed for 42 years for murder and a number of other offences after he shot Olivia last August and injured her mum Cheryl and his intended target. Earlier today at the appeal court, Cashman's barrister argued that the sentence imposed on him was excessive. The court rejected that claim.
But after the ruling, Cashman's lawyers indicated he was also planning to appeal against his conviction.
We'll be talking live to Cheryl Corbell, Olivia's mum, and her auntie Antonia Elverson after this report from our correspondent Rob Smith.
It's me, Olivia, and today...
Olivia Pratt-Corbell's life ended at 9 years old, yet her murderer believed his minimum 42-year jail term was too long.
The King against Thomas Edward Cashman.
Thomas Cashman's lawyer asked judges for permission to appeal the sentence. He argued it didn't account for the killer's age when eligible for parole. It emphasised planning of the crime when Olivia wasn't the target, and it overstated his lack of remorse.
The tariff here, in the context of the facts of this case, was too high. And there was nothing, we submit, in the behaviour of this applicant at trial and after trial to indicate that he had lack of remorse in relation to her death.
Cashman chased down his intended target, Joseph Nee, opening fire on the street outside Olivia's home in Liverpool. When a random front door opened and Nee ran inside, Cashman fired into the house. He hit Olivia's mother, then the youngster herself. The appeal judge's ruling was clear.
There were no mitigating features. There was no remorse. The sentence ultimately arrived at was entirely merited on the facts, and the contrary is not arguable. The application for leave to appeal against sentence is refused.
The man who killed Olivia isn't done with the courts. Having failed to shorten his prison time, he now wants out by appealing his conviction. Rob Smith, ITV News.
Well, Olivia's mum Cheryl and auntie Antonia join us now. It must have been a right day for you guys today. You watched the appeal verdict this morning. Just tell us what the day's been like for you.
It's been like a roller coaster, up and down. Nerves were gone, but eventually took a big weight off our shoulders, hasn't it? Yeah.
You went through the ordeal over again today, Cheryl. I can imagine that ordeal was just incredibly traumatic. Just give us a sense of what was going through your mind when you heard the ruling play out today.
It took us right back to the court case. It took me right back to that night that Liv was killed. Listening to Mr. Cooper, at one point said the door was ajar. You know, the door was shut when he first fired. The door was only ajar because I'd had to let go because I couldn't hold it anymore. And Cashman still had the audacity to come round the door and shoot again. So, listening to he had remorse. No, he didn't. He had no remorse whatsoever. Right the way through the trial, protested his innocence. There was no remorse there at all. And even the day of sentencing, there was no remorse because he couldn't be bothered coming up.
And he also had the audacity of trying to appeal against the sentence and also trying to appeal against the conviction. Can you even begin to think what is going through his mind?
I have no idea what's going through his mind. At the end of the day, he's got nothing else to do. So let him crack on and do what he thinks he needs to do. And after today, he never got what he wanted.
You, as a family, have been going through this trauma for 7 months now. What's it like? Just give us a sense of what it's like having Cashman hanging over you like this.
It's exhausting, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
You try and move forwards, and obviously things like we've been doing the campaign, and so he's a continuous figure. But you try and put him to the back of your mind. You try and think of the positive things that we're doing. And then things like today. You know, we had really good positive news last week with the bill being actually on the King's speech. It's 2 steps forward, it's 10 steps back.
Yeah.
It's continuous, it's cruel. And there is no remorse because he continuously wants to keep putting the family through this heartache.
We're just in awe of how, as a family, you're so close, you're so composed, you're calm, you're measured. Many people will be asking the question, what keeps you going? I mean, we saw the result from the bill the other week announced by His Majesty the King. What does keep you going?
The campaign has kept us going, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the fact that enough's been taken from us. I'm not allowing them to destroy anymore.
We have bad days,
Yeah.
we do. We're not always this composed.
No.
But I think we help each other, we get each other through. We know when one's down, you know, another family member will pick that up and so on. And we've got really good friends and family that, as I say, have been a massive support to all the family, but also with the Face the Family campaign, they've been out canvassing with us and campaigning, and you know, it's been a big team effort, and I think having that support's just been huge.
Yeah.
I don't think we'd have ever got through what we've got through without the support, love from kids, and even total strangers. Total strangers. It's just it restores your faith in a little bit of humanity.
Certainly
really does.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, for both of you, for coming in and speaking to us today.
Thank you.
Well, next tonight, as some parents protest across the North West about the lack of provision for children with special educational needs, we're taking a look at the devastating impact it's having on children and families.
Yeah, experts are warning that many mainstream schools are close to breaking point because of the increasing number of children with special educational needs and disabilities, many of whom are not receiving support they're entitled to.
It's the children and their parents who are suffering. Anna Yosef has this special report.
See you later.
School hasn't always been a happy place for Sophia. The transition from primary to secondary was difficult. Diagnosed with autism, she struggled to fit in and her attendance plummeted.
I had meltdown after meltdown and they had to try and get me back into school so I could have an education, but I'd just scream and cry because I didn't want to go back. It would put an extreme anxiety in my head that I couldn't go back. I just thought, this is not going to work.
She felt isolated and misunderstood.
I felt like I was some sort of different person. They made me seem like I was such, I know it's a bad word, but a monster.
Sophia's now a student at this independent special educational needs school in Greater Manchester.
Morning, Sophia. Morning.
It's aimed at 11 to 18-year-olds who have struggled in mainstream education. Students are taught academic subjects as well as practical skills, working with horses, dogs and small animals. Sophia says it's been life-changing.
What do you think your life would be like if you hadn't got a place at this school?
Awful. This school taught me to smile again and be myself.
Rachel struggled for years to find the right school and the right help for her teenage daughter, who's autistic and has selective mutism.
Everyone else is getting on with their lives and hitting key milestones, and your child can't even leave their bedroom. They can't talk to anyone, and you have no hope. It was just so dark and horrible and unbearable for years.
What has this school done for your daughter?
This school has saved her life. It saved her life and possibly mine. She's able to come and be here and be part of something and feel like she's achieving something, and it's just turned everything around for us.
Dan felt a failure at 14.
It was coming to a point where I thought I wasn't going to do nothing in life because I did get told by one of my teachers I was a waste of space and useless.
Diagnosed with ADHD, he struggled to cope in a mainstream school and admits he was going off the rails.
Just was skipping lessons, swearing, running around school and just doing my own thing and doing whatever I could to avoid any lesson. I just didn't have the courage and I didn't have the confidence to walk into a classroom and sit down and learn because I felt like other people were going to judge me for like how I do stuff, and like obviously because they could do stuff I couldn't.
Dan's now studying for qualifications and wants to be a horse riding instructor.
I enjoy coming to school. I enjoy coming to see the teachers. They don't just like ignore you, they actually help you, come see you if you need them, and you can always talk to them.
How's your week been?
It's been all right.
Yeah, any highlights?
Each student has a key worker and a timetable tailored to their individual needs. There's a maximum of 4 children in every lesson. It's a level of support and attention not possible in mainstream, but an approach teachers here believe nurtures vulnerable young people and gives them hope.
And I think education needs to be about guiding the young person. It's got to be about empathy. It's got to be about saying, we want to hear you and we want to guide you and we want to help you, and that's what I love about this place.
What can happen to the children who fall through the cracks?
They are vulnerable to county lines, to exploitation, to grooming from gangs, and potentially fall into a very, very dangerous lifestyle.
Mia's 14 and loves working with horses. She has ADHD, autism and dyslexia. She felt singled out at her previous school and her attendance was poor.
I felt very isolated, and I just felt like I wasn't a person anymore because they didn't treat me like one. They just treated me like I was some special kid they had to act different with, and it just made me feel horrible about myself, really. I love animals, and it's just animals combined with school is a great thing, honestly. I come home happy, so that kind of makes mum happy, doesn't it? I still stay in my room, that's just me, but I'm a lot more happier here.
Ian's daughter, who has special educational needs, stopped attending school in year 7.
I think that the thought of having to go to that school, it just reached a point in it, it was up there, and all of a sudden there was a trigger that obviously said to her, can't do this anymore. And it was so hard. It was like all your world comes crashing down. All this, everything that you thought was like stable, that they were going to school, things were absolutely fine. All of a sudden it stops.
Ian says when his daughter started at this school, the change in her was almost immediate.
It's been absolutely transformational, her coming here. A lifesaver and a game changer. I think, unfortunately, there's a one-size-fits-all mentality, probably partly due to the way the schools are funded. And when you get children with difficulties and problems, such as my daughter, but many, many other children as well, they don't fit into that sort of box. So it's easier, isn't it, just to sort of hope that problem sort of goes away. Well, it can't go away, can it? So this is why Carrington Independent School is such an important place.
But there aren't enough places to meet the demand. The school deals with dozens of inquiries every day from parents desperate to help their child.
We are a unique place. We are a niche place. We are a calm and relaxed atmosphere. And I think that is the biggest thing that these students can sense and can feel when they're around us. Safety is huge for these students. They need to feel safe. They need to feel that they are in a caring and wanted environment. They have come from environments where they feel that they are not wanted. They feel that they are a hindrance. They feel that they are different. They feel that they will never be what they call a normal child, which is heartbreaking.
Sophia says she feels lucky to be at this school. The question is what happens to the thousands of other children still in need of a safe place to learn.
And Anna's here now. Anna, the issue of children with additional needs being denied an education is just massive, isn't it?
It is, Zoe. You know, just to give you an idea of the scale of the issue, 1.8 million children are persistently absent from school. That figure has more than doubled since the pandemic. And the reasons for children missing school, well, they're many and varied, but all the experts I spoke to said that there is nearly always a genuine reason. It's like a barrier that's been put in place. It could be they've got ADHD or autism. We've reported on parents protesting about the lack of special needs provision in our region. There has been a massive increase in demand. Mainstream schools, they just don't have the staff, they don't have the funding to offer children that level of support. And we also know that there's a shortage of special school places. Now, the government says they are spending £10.5 billion on what they call high needs education and doubling the number of free special school places to 19,000. That's a lot of money, but I want to put it into some context for you. The school we filmed at has places for 29 students. They're hoping to increase that to 14 next year. And those places are paid for by the local authority, but they don't know how much of that government money they're going to get. At this stage, you know, the school told me that they receive more than 100 calls every week from parents desperate for their kids to get a place. You heard from Rachel in the piece, the mum. She said that the school has saved her daughter's life and quite possibly hers. But we know there are so many other families and children out there desperate for that level of support.
All right, Anna, thank you very much. Well, on to sport now, and some big changes coming at Manchester United. Richard Arnold is stepping down as the club's chief executive. He's been at the club in various positions since 2007, but has spent less than 2 years as chief exec. Patrick Stewart, United's legal officer and general counsel, will become interim CEO. The development comes as Sir Jim Ratcliffe edges closer to becoming minority shareholder of United. He's expected to pay in the region of £1.25 billion for a 25% stake at Old Trafford Club. That deal is expected any day now.
Well, next, the World Cup runner-up, who's starting out in management in the 9th tier of English football with Skelmersdale United.
Yeah, the former Blackburn, Wigan and Tottenham star Pascal Chimbonda is now in charge at the North West Counties Premier Division club.
Despite his wealth of Premier League experience, the former France international says he struggled to get to manage this job because he's black. He's been talking to David Chisnell.
Come on, guys, come on! Come on!
Passionate.
Finish! Finish!
Perfectionist.
Oh!
And a potty mouth.
I say you go inside. Boom, boom, you go.
Pascal Chimbonda is setting the standards high at Skelmersdale United.
Before you could do it there, but now I'm here, no here.
And you'd expect nothing less from someone who reached the very top of the game as a player and is now managing 8 divisions below the Premier League.
Come on!
Why? You always have to start somewhere, you know. And the chairman and the vice-chairman give me the opportunity to start my coaching career, so I'm pleased with that.
Yes, keep going, guys, come on!
It's football. When it's everything come about football, I'm always happy to do it.
You just love football as well?
Yeah, I love football, yeah.
Gordon, where's the light?
Well, this is a world away from what Pascal is used to. The former Wigan and Blackburn defender was a runner-up in the 2006 World Cup with France and won the League Cup with Tottenham. Despite all that experience and having a UEFA A coaching licence, his journey into management has started way down the footballing pyramid.
As black coach, you know, it's always hard to get a job in any club. Even you have a big career, even you play in a high level, you know, but you can't do anything about that, you know. You just have to go with it. And if a club like you or if people like you, yes, maybe they will give you the opportunity to coach. That's happened to me in here.
His arrival at Skem has been a much-needed boost to everyone at the club, which is currently bottom of the North West Counties Premier Division.
It's brought a real buzz to the club. People are coming and are watching it now.
that haven't been before.
I'm from Wigan, so all Wigan fans were loving it straight away. They was asking me, they couldn't believe it themselves.
Despite the personal connection of knowing Skem's vice-chairman, it was Pascal's perseverance and the offer to do the job for free that sealed his signing.
It was exciting, but it was worrying at the same time because he's never managed a football team. Pascal's ambitious, we're ambitious, we want to get back playing in Skem, and we want everything to sort of run into one.
Well, while the team can train in Skem, they have to play 7 miles away in Bursko after the artificial pitch failed FIFA's bounce test. They're now trying to raise £300,000 to get a new surface and return home, and it's hoped having an ex-Premier League player at the club will help attract investment as well as interest.
What's the reaction you get when you turn up at games and people are like, that's Pascal Chimbonda?
No, it's a good reaction, you know. I like it, you know, because last Saturday we played against Chadderton, and the manager said, "Oh man, I can't believe you coaching here, because I used to watch you play for Spurs. Spurs is my favourite team."
Did you get a photo?
Nah. Nah.
From Spurs to Skem, and if Pascal can save the club from relegation, he'll have even more hero worship coming his way.
Many games left.
David Chisnell, ITV News, Skelmersdale.
Well done, guys. Yes, see you on Thursday. Yes.
Yeah, the very best of luck to Pascal with this new endeavour.
He's had an amazing career, hasn't he?
Right?
Brilliant.
Yeah. I think he'll do all right.
Now, who can forget the music that super producers Stock, Aitken and Waterman produced across the late 80s and 90s?
Yeah, songs from Kylie Minogue, Rick Astley, Bananarama and many more were part of the soundtrack to my generation, and now their music has been turned into a musical.
Yes, indeed, and they're heading out on a UK tour, but the world premiere was in Manchester. Where else?
Our entertainment correspondent Caroline Whitmore went to the Opera House to take a look.
Well, the Opera House is a place to be as brand new musical I Should Be So Lucky, of course based on the hits by Stock, Aitken and Waterman, kicks off its first ever UK tour and has its world premiere right here in Manchester. Are you nervous? This is it.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's so rare that a new British musical comes about. So actually, and also this is kind of my home city. I'm from the Northwest. I'm from Lytham St Anne's near Blackpool. So for me, this is super special to be opening a show here, yeah. And there's so many Northerners in it that it feels like such a Northern show, and I love that.
Billy's worried now that I'm not going to talk to you because you're not from the North.
No, I'm from Essex. I'm the outcast. And
Right, get away. We're on this one.
No, I'm really nervous. I am. It's come around so quick. You know, we started rehearsals a few months back, and then it's been tech, and then out of nowhere it's like, oh, we've done all the previews, and now it's the premiere to everybody.
Yeah.
Ah!
Ridiculous!
I told you we look ridiculous! I play Nathan, Lucy May plays Ella, and we are about to get married, and at the altar, I jilt her. The whole show is Ella goes on the honeymoon with her family, and then the story goes from there.
There was a certain somebody who surprised you as well, wasn't there, Lucy May?
Oh, just you know, Kylie just turned up to rehearsals, didn't she? I filmed with her for 2 days. You can see why she's got to where she is. She works so hard.
Pete, this brand new musical is an accumulation of over 30 years of hits for Stock, Aitken and Waterman. Are you going to feel quite emotional watching the show?
I'm watching the songs we wrote 30 years ago, and it reminds you of why you wrote the song. And it's just an emotional ride. I got tears for the first 20 minutes. Why would you open in Manchester? Because Manchester was the hitman and her. If it works in Manchester, it works everywhere.
Someone who's at the wedding is a certain Kylie Minogue in digital form.
Yes.
Are you happy with that part of the show?
I'm not going to give it away, but you know, it is part of the narrative, and it works. She came to the rehearsals. Obviously, she's in Vegas, but she's a major part of this.
It's very, very emotional. I mean, I can't believe it's like 35 years
since I first met Pete. I think it's absolutely amazing.
35 years ago, we never expected this night.
Kylie, Sonia, Bananarama, what more do you need?
What more do you need?
I Should Be So Lucky is on at the Opera House in Manchester until November the 25th. I was almost going to sing then, but decided against it.
But you're glad. Now, are we going to be lucky with the weather? Sorry, here's Joe.
Why do I need a shower? I've been out in the rain.
The faster you go, the sooner you'll be out. You'll save water too.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Thank you. A very good evening to you. I don't need to tell you it's been unsettled this week already. Low pressure firmly in the driving seat, and certainly for the northwest of England and the Isle of Man over the next few days. Further spells of showery rain to come, and a colder feel to our weather with the unsettled theme continuing into this weekend. Particularly Saturday will be a rather wet and windy day. Tomorrow afternoon, a deep low pressure system's moving up from the southwest, and it's chiefly going to bring strong winds and heavy rain to the Midlands, the south of the country and Wales. But for the northwest of England and the Isle of Man, increasing cloud amounts during tomorrow afternoon, showers and then a spell of rain with blustery winds tomorrow evening. Back to this evening, still a few showers around as we go through the next few hours, but it is becoming a little bit drier. Overnight tonight, quite a good deal of cloud cover, some hill fog for the Pennines, the Lakeland Fells, but we'll see some breaks in the cloud, Cheshire, Derbyshire way, and that will allow temperatures to fall low enough for a touch of frost perhaps in rural spots before dawn. Generally, winds are falling a good deal lighter than they have been over the last few days. On to tomorrow, the sun is up at 7:39, it sets tomorrow afternoon at 4:12. Now tomorrow morning should be largely dry for most places. The Isle of Man will see a few showers from the word go. Hill fog on Trans-Pennine routes, something to bear in mind if you're travelling. Skies will brighten for a time. There may be some sunshine, but also we'll see showers tending to pop out across the northwest of England and the Isle of Man during the afternoon, and cloud will build from the southwest as we go through the day and into tomorrow evening. Winds pick up a bit. It's feeling cool tomorrow, 8 or 9 Celsius at best. Looking ahead, Friday should just about be dry. Saturday looks rather wet and windy. Bye-bye.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Well, it doesn't look like we're getting lucky with the weather, does it? I don't know how many times we're going to get that reference in.
We are back after news at 10 tomorrow. We're meeting the new host of Deal or No Deal. That'll be good.
That'll be good. See you.
Bye.
Bye.